Hello, everybody. It's probably the latest hour that I've ever done a Facebook Live. Shannon O'Flaherty here, and I'm the creator of this beautiful group, Releasing the Wounded Healer. And this evening, I'm talking to you about the feeling of not belonging and also the feeling of feeling lost, which a few of you have written about. And I certainly know this. Years ago, before I went to shaman school, and I had been studying lots of things. I was studying transactional analysis. I was on the path to becoming a psychotherapist. I had studied hypnotherapy and NLP and all sorts of things, transpersonal psychology. And I was really searching for a way to feel like I could fit in this world. I mean, transpersonal psychology was very interesting because that was all about sitting on the bridge, watching yourself swim in the river of life as though you were sort of outside of yourself, looking down on yourself, watching yourself. And people talked about meditating for long hours to get to this position. And I thought, really? Gosh, I'm like this when I'm just grocery shopping. I can be outside of myself watching myself. And I thought, am I missing something? And then it would get even more metaphysical by like sitting on the bridge, watching yourself sit on the bridge, watching yourself swim in the river of life. And I thought, yeah, well, I just fundamentally get this because I'd had those kind of out of body experiences, if you even want to call it that. Hi, Jessica. I was just talking to you. Okay, so metaphysical, yeah, there's the word. When you're feeling like you're not belonging on this earth, on this planet, it can be from a lot of different things. So it can be from a lot of belief systems, really fundamental belief systems like it's not safe to be born, it's not safe to exist, I don't want to be here, I want to go home. These are all feelings about wanting to go back to source, wanting to go back to our fundamental connection to God. And of course, when you're not feeling like you belong, guess what? You're not being aligned and you're not being connected with your human time on this planet. That's why a lot of people try to kill themselves. That's why a lot of people take drugs and alcohol to escape from their reality, myself included. I went through all of that, okay? Not to a hugely addicted phase, but I had my issues with all of that in the past. And so when you're not valuing your life, your human experience, you're not going to be fully living here. You're not grounded, you're not completely centered and in alignment and fully in your body. These are all belief systems. We can change those. We can change those really quickly. But it's also when you're feeling lost, it's because you're not tapping into this kind of linear world that has been created by humanity. Okay, we have all of these rules and regulations and a certain structure and norm to fit into. And we think, well, hold on, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. This isn't the way it was in the garden, right? When we're in that higher, in between the worlds, God consciousness, everything flows to us. Everything that we desire is already there. Everything that we wish comes to us easily. It isn't a struggle. Life isn't hard. We just ask and it comes to us. And this is the reality, our reality that we know. Okay, so the metaphysical laws are about excuse me, are about being and about knowing and about our identity and about time and about space and about energy. And these are things that, well, we can feel them, understand them, tap into them, identify with them. But perhaps a lot of this linear sort of masculine world can't, because this linear world in which we live, where buildings are built and there's all sorts of electrical, radioactive energy flying through the air, and we have all of these structures and formats to fit into, that becomes everybody's reality. When in fact, deep in our souls, in our fundamental knowing, we know that there's another way. Perhaps we are tapping into those worlds between the worlds. We know that there's a spiral, that there's a parallel universe going right next to us. Perhaps we have a big invisible power animal sitting right by our side. That was a real shocker when I happened to notice my giant jaguar sitting right next to me. And when I went to shaman school, I found out that, wow, a lot of people have a big power animal, or they have a beautiful owl or a crow sitting on their shoulder, or a squirrel, or whatever your power animal is. Perhaps you're seeing spirit. Perhaps you're talking to another dimension. Perhaps you're connecting to angels. Well, this kind of stuff is perfectly normal. But in the linear world in which we live, if they think that you're hearing voices in your head, they might call that schizophrenic or something. But what we know the difference of being is because we're not getting messages of negativity and telling us to go out and do harmful and stupid things. It's egoless. It's completely egoless. It's filled with love. It's all positive, abundant messages of pulling us up, of being connected to that God and source energy, of being connected to home. And guess where home is, folks? It's right here in your heart. So when you're feeling like you don't belong, or that you don't feel that you fit in, or you're feeling lost, it's because you haven't allowed yourself to fully integrate into the human kind of consciousness. This friend of mine calls it being, we are spiritual beings. And then occasionally we have to tap into our human to play that game of being human in this linear world in which we live. But you don't have to suffer and struggle through that if you understand the metaphysical laws of the universe. And this includes the law of attraction and time. We can bend time. We can also control the weather. I've had some experiences with that. It's not really my area, but I know a lot of people with a lot of different powers and a lot of different abilities. And all of us have all of the abilities, and it's just about where you want to put your focus and how much you want to practice and how clear do you want to be. Because if you're filled with all of this rubbish from this reality of the linear world, it's like trying to find clarity in a river with toxic waste being dumped into it. Okay, you can't find clarity with a lifetime of rubbish building up inside you. First, you need to get clear. And when you are a clear channel, then it's much easier for you to tap into your higher consciousness, which is what you're missing. That's why you're feeling lost. That's why you're feeling not connected to anything or don't belong anywhere. It's because you have an integral, fundamental knowing that you miss. You want your soul's higher knowing back. And you're still tapped into it a little bit. That's why babies are so clear, because they remember why they've come here. And humans, we tend to learn through trauma and we forget why we came here. So we come here and get really confused and lose our way and make a whole bunch of really stupid choices that don't serve us, and then we beat ourselves up for that, and we get into this whole big human drama, when really we can just choose an easier way and get clear and let go of all of that stuff and start to have our spiritual awakening. I mean, isn't it cool when you have a big aha moment, like a spiritual realization? It's really like a big emotional release, isn't it? And that's the work that I do. We can speed up your process really quickly because I help people get clear. We have neural pathways in our brain that are basically the pathway where our habitual behavioral responses live. And at the end of that neural pathway is a receptor, and it locks that into place. So we get stuck in our habitual patterns. And our patterns can also be our responses to emotional stuff that's going on around us, our responses to the human experience. Our soul has chosen to come to earth and be in human form again so that we can clear all of the past karma and expand our consciousness and expand the consciousness of those around us and raise the vibration of everyone on the planet to bring humanity up to a higher level. This is the ripple effect that I want to create on the planet, and I want all of you to do this with me, because why on earth would we be given these wonderful gifts? And they are gifts. They are gifts. So why keep dabbling with it? Why keep dabbling? Step fully in. Now is the time to jump in, clear your beliefs, break these receptors off, these bound pathways in your brain so that you can choose a better belief system and let go of all of the old stuff that isn't serving you. Why are you choosing to stay stuck and suffer and sad and feeling like you're not belonging and feeling lost when you can change that? We have so much power and we're hardly tapping into any of it, but we can. And yeah, okay, it's scary because the unknown is scary, but I mean, isn't it better to be happy? I used to be really not happy, and I used to get upset by little things, and all the things that used to make me scream and growl with frustration, now they don't even ruffle my feathers. And I have tools that I use every day so that if for a moment I find that I'm annoyed with something, I think, gosh, that's weird, because it's weird to feel annoyed these days. It really is. So if I'm annoyed, I think, huh, I wonder what's triggered that. And then I can clear it immediately, because why hold on to it for any longer than I need to? And if I'm noticing it, then it's probably been there longer than I've been noticing it. So it's a practice. Do you want to practice? Do you want to heal? Do you want to change your life? Do you want to create a ripple effect on the planet? Do you want to help people all around you? Do you want to feel like you want to belong? Do you want to have fantastic aha moments and emotional releases and feel wonderful in every cell of your body? Yeah, I do. That's the choices I would make. Private message me. Let's find out if we're a really good match to work together. I would love to help you find your most authentic, highest self so that you can be your most joyous, best version of yourself. Get out of your scarcity and lack mentality. Get out of your fear place. Get out of your victim place if you're still in that place. And make it easier for you to choose the positive choices that are going to help you further along in your path and help you help others, because that's the whole point of having these gifts. So let's play. I love you all very much, and I'll see you in the next video.